Hello, Social Cam. Hello, beautiful people. How are you? I just want to stop by and give you a word from the Lord for the week. The Lord has been speaking today on being the real you. So that's what we're going to address today. A lot of times we have people set their standards for us. We set standards for ourselves. We let situations determine who we are, and that is far from who God wants us to be. So he was speaking to me in the aspect of the king and the kingdom and him being the king. So in the Bible days, many times, the kings in the Bible days would set certain people into position of power. Now, those people never said, "I am not a governor. I am not to be meant to be this or that." Those people walked in the authority that the king set them in. Why? Because they understood the concept of a king and that the king was the top. He was the chief, he was the principal one in the kingdom. So if he felt a certain thing, then it had to be. So if those people serve earthly kings that way, then we definitely must begin to look at our king of the spiritual world that way, because he's king of everything. He is king of everything. And so when the king of everything says to you, you are this and you are that, you are not to dispute who he say you are, because when you dispute who he says you are, it makes it very difficult for you to get to that place that he wants you to be. Now, we've all battled with this inner person, inner child, to make people, to worry about what people think, trying to please people, trying to make people happy, or even just trying to, some people try to be someone they're not. Don't try to rehearse what somebody else says. Don't try to parrot what somebody else says. Don't try to be what somebody else says. You be you. You be who God says you are. And this week, I want to encourage you to get before him and evaluate. Write down who he says you are. Go to God. Ask him exactly, hey, who do you say I am, Lord? And close your own mind out. Close people out. Close everything else out. And write down everything that you can possibly write down as he began to flood your mind with those things. When he floods your mind with those things, everything you'll begin to see will be good. It'll be good things. Because he don't want to speak to you negatively when he's talking about who he has called you to be. He's going to give you positive. So write that down. That's feedback from God. When you have times when you don't feel like you measure up, when you have times where you feel like you need to be somebody else, when you have times that you just having one of those days and I'm just not who I need to be today, you go back, look at the list, and begin to meditate on the list and who God says you are. And I believe that if you do that, then you will begin to believe it, and it will take root in your spirit, and you will begin to easily become that person that he has said that you were. So I want you to have a wonderful week. Be blessed. Shut out all the negativity. Shut out all the criticism, especially when it's not constructive. And begin to just soak in what God says you are. Begin to soak your spirit in who he says you are. Because he's the King of Kings and he's the Lord of Lords. He is terrible and great. And he is awesome and mighty. And he makes no mistakes. So if he called you to be a certain thing, then you better know that he is going to equip you to do those things. Hold on to his word. Hold on to his promises. And I know that you will be blessed in all that you do when you do just that. Have a wonderful week, and God bless you. Bye-bye.